Okay guys, cold start time. Choke. Pump the gas twice. This is a 6-volt car. You can hear the starter. I mean, that is full on cold. It is cold out right now. Starter right up. Starts up every time. You guys want your 6-volt car to do that? Stay tuned. I'll show you next portion how to do it. Okay, on this we're going to hook up something called a hard start relay. And what it is basically, I'll explain to you why you need these on Volkswagens, especially on a 6-volt car. They make these in 6-volt and it really makes a difference. So because the battery is in the back and the ignition key is in the front, all the distance from the battery all the way up to ignition key all the way back to the starter, which is in the back, the engine's in the back, right? Most cars, the engine's in the front, battery's in the front, so you have a lot less problems because it's near you where you're turning your key. So you develop resistance, so the wire gets old, a little bit of resistance happens, so now your 12 volts might be 11, 10 at the starter, or 6 volts, which is really makes it hard. It becomes like 4 or something like that at the starter. So if you hook up one of these, what it does is it eliminates that. So if you see here this little picture right here, that's an electromagnet. Okay, so it shows that this side of the relay, where these black and white wires are, is an electromagnet. Okay, and on this side of the relay is the load side, or is the the load side, which is, you see the wires are a little thicker. That tells you, if you look at there, it says looks like a switch, like it's off, and then normally off, and then when it's connected here it's on. So all it does is it takes the load from, now it doesn't take much to turn on an electromagnet, right? So this side just has an electromagnet that makes a set of points go to this side. So as soon as these two wires are connected, in other words, the hot leads hot and the negative is negative, then this side, the points connect these two wires together. Okay, if you follow what I'm saying, it's very simple. That's how a relay works. This is how you wire it. We'll talk about this in a second. Okay, most of the time when you hook up an electromagnet, there is positive and negative don't really matter, right? Because if you just hook them up either way, if it's this way or if it's this way, I'm not sure if this has a diode in it. You can hear the points close, right? Can you hear that? Let me get you guys closer, you can hear it. So that's how you do it. You test it on. Okay. So that's all we're trying to do, is make the points close. All we need is one side to negative. One side goes to ground. This one's going to go to your wire that goes to your ignition key for your starter, back at the starter. And then we're going to have one of these two leads. It's going to go to the battery. Okay, so let's say the red one. It doesn't really matter. It could be either way. It could be the yellow one or the red one. So the red one will go to the battery lead on the starter, and the yellow one is going to go to the solenoid. So now, when this relay is activated, in other words, when this switch does this, hear that? Okay. When it clicks, it makes only, what is that? 4 inches of wire that goes through this relay, and then those points connect this wire to it. So it only has this long to travel. The voltage only has this long to travel. So instead of it dropping on a 6-volt car, instead of it dropping from 6 volts to 4 volts, because it's got to go from the back of the car all the way to the front of the car, all the way back to the back of the car, it's only got to go from here to here through this little relay. So because it shortens that distance, the voltage is higher. My 6-volt car starts every time because I have a relay just like this, mounted right near my starter. We'll put it in there and let you guys take a look at it. So this one is going to go to, oh, darn it, this little piggy goes to the ignition key wire. This little piggy goes to ground. Okay, little piggy, be nice. Got the wrong size connector on it, but as long as it works. Okay, this one needs a big ring on it, and this one needs a connector. Okay, here we go. Got a connector for this one. I've got to find a big ring for the other one. It's going to take a little searching to do. So, doesn't matter, this one, the yellow wire or the red one on this case. Remember, on the load side of the relay, the one with the little diagram here, you see the two wires. These are load, these are line. And if you see that little thing there, and you see that looks like an electromagnet, the one on the left, right? The one on the right looks like it's kind of disconnected. And what it's saying is when that one on the left hits the electromagnet, it connects this side. And some of them will have a little bit different diagram, but they're all pretty much the same. All right, tell the little piggy to be good. You just got to put it on here. It's the wrong size too. So you put this one on there. Guess where that one goes? Anyone got an idea? Goes to the battery. Looks like it's connected pretty well. Okay, so this one goes to the battery. Now this one's going to go to the starter, to the solenoid side of the starter. This one's going to be on the battery side of the starter. Okay, makes sense? So that what happens, I'm trying to make this as in layman terms. Maybe I'm repeating myself, but I don't know. I've had people on the other videos I made that were like, draw a wiring diagram. It's like, no. Here, these two, positive and negative, could be either way. Usually there's no, it's just an electromagnet. These two energize. So now what do I have here? Okay, now this one's a ground. One of these is going to be a positive. So this one's going to go to the existing solenoid wire from the switch. Okay, and this one's going to go to ground. So what's going to happen when I turn on my ignition switch? It's going to energize these two, right? It's going to energize the electromagnet. When you energize the electromagnet, it connects these two together. That's all this relay does, and it shortens the distance. So now all it has to do is go from this lead through the relay to there, shortens the distance, keeps the voltage up. So if you have resistance in your wire, you have a bad connection somewhere, or your wires are old or whatever, it works. This works great. I've done this on 6-volt cars every time. I'll put a link in the description for Amazon for these relays as well. So this is going to be 2 videos, guys. This is going to be one video just telling this to people, and then the other part we're going to continue on to putting the starter button in. Talk to you a little bit later. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.